If you're watching this and haven't seen part one, you're probably going to be very, very confused. And by the way, watch my videos anyway. So yeah. And by the way, unrealistic. I have to say it again. Okay. Okay. So we have Kyrgyzstan completing their push into Tajikistan and taking full control of the country after the capitulation. Although there's many partisans, so Kyrgyzstan kind of has to deal with that. And the way that they decide to do this is by throwing Xbox controllers at the partisans. It is very effective, as the gamers with a PlayStation have full on seizures because they cannot comprehend the superiority of the Xbox controller. Can you tell I'm salty? So eventually, we have Kyrgyzstan wiping out the country fully and seizing full control and eliminating all PlayStation players in the country. We also have India deciding to launch a small little invasion into China, but it's not really much, and they're not even in on this war. It's just somewhat of a border skirmish, and they decided to do it anyway. So, they were basically in the war for a couple of minutes. I don't know. This was mainly for their ally Nepal, so they can push in and meet with the Tibetan rebels in China, which they're able to do so successfully. We also have Bhutan decided to join up with them just so they can hold their front line, because right now it's starting to shrink, just very slightly though. Eventually, we have an entire rebel group in China being completely wiped out by the People's Liberation Army. Yeah, very ironic for a country that killed like a couple thousand people in just like a few hours. Anyways, so over in this island that once again I forgot what it's called. I know it starts with H, but whatever. We have Vietnam being able to completely push out China and even make a naval invasion into them. We have the American and Western forces finally starting to arrive in bigger numbers, though. But right now they're mainly in the Philippines, hoping to get into Taiwan and more of Korea and Japan, as well as Vietnam. We also have Vietnam pushing into Laos so they can just do some stuff over there. And with this, and every step that each force makes, each team makes, I should say, they're taking raw materials so they can, and they're the second that they're done with those materials, they basically destroy the entire factories, so they can't get. So, oh god, if they're getting like taken, if they're about to lose them, like the territory, the enemy can't use them anymore. Um, Over in China, we see an encirclement with the help of rebels and Taiwan, as well as more pushback, mainly with Japanese forces. Also, by the way, Japan is really dead set on making a naval invasion right here for some reason and reaching a certain city. I wonder why. I don't think it has anything to do with tradition, no. Definitely no. Huh. Wonder why. Eventually, we have China design solidifying their border with Korea so they can get troops a bit more close to the front line. Um, Eventually, we see them trying to make a small push into North Korea, and it actually does work, although it doesn't get that too far in, I should say. Jesus, I cannot speak. Eventually, we have the Manchurian rebels being split into two, and it's split again into three, I guess. We do see some rebel success over in I guess you could say like the middle of China. Yeah, the middle of China, where the rebels protrude out and through just kind of in a circular motion. And now China wants to connect another front so they can go help their buddy Laos. So they decide to cut right through Myanmar and Thailand. With this China cuts right through the country of Myanmar, and they're understandably like, what the frick, bro? We're on the same team. Technically, I know I'm not in the war, but why? So with this, we have Myanmar actually deciding to join the side of the blue team, which China didn't think was actually going to happen. They thought they were just going to be like, oh yeah, sure, you can do that. Um, with this, we also have Thailand just destroying itself with corruption, and eventually the new leaders are replaced, so it's going to be a little easier to sweep through them. Fun fact: Thailand stands for Land of the Free, which is pretty ironic because 70 years for someone got sentenced for 7 years for 7 Facebook posts criticizing the leader. How insane is that? Eventually, we see China being able to push through Myanmar or Burma, and getting into Thailand, who decides to just let them go through. They don't want to fight. They're just tired. Um, and China sends them an ultimatum to annex part of their lands. So Thailand just they're not having a good time. Um, so then we see this part just basically, yeah, it's China now. Okay. Eventually, we have China squeezing their forces through the rest of Burma. Well, this part at least, and also bulging through because Myanmar's extremely weak and it's really pathetic. and that's against China, so it's even more pathetic. Eventually we see more Chinese forces getting into Laos, so they're able to push back Vietnam quite a bit. Although this does come at a cost, as Vietnam is able to push back China somewhat and cause an encirclement. We also see some guerrilla warfare from Vietnam, because they kind of know that. And why are my dogs idiots? Anyways, we see Vietnam making a couple of guerrilla pockets throughout the Chinese mainland, and they're all kind of random. They go all over the place, but whatever. Eventually, we see Tibetan rebels just get ready to bulk up, and with this, we have India deciding to join the war on the side of the blue team. So now, China's screwed. They're completely screwed. But whatever. So eventually, after India is able to fully prepare their forces, we see them getting through Nepal somehow and connecting with the rebels. With this, India provides a clean sweep through a lot of China, and decides to take out parts of the CC while they're at it. Eventually, they cause two encirclements, helping out some other rebel groups, and meet up with the Xinjiao rebels and Uyghurs rebels. After India makes it through this, we have the uncovering of the concentration camps being 100% real. With this, good God, what is with? Anyways, with this we have Mongolia deciding to join on this war, so they can get Inner Mongolia. We also have the Pakistan-Afghan Union deciding to join on the war, because even they think this is messed up. We have Kazakhstan deciding to join on this war, and Russia decides to stay neutral. Although Saudi Arabia also declares war on this, and they're like, "Hey, Middle East, can you not cause a whole chain reaction?" And they're like, "Fine, maybe just once."